Okay, do I have a motion? Well, let's call the meeting to order at 6:08.
Yep. And I guess I actually do need your name since I'm listing everyone who's here.
I'll bring the motion to order.
Oh, sorry.
Is that proper?
To open the meeting?
To open the meeting, yes.
John opens the meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Nancy seconds. And this, I think we can take it under public comment. This is Karen Henning, spelled
Hello.
Charon.
Oh, wait a minute.
C-H-A-R-O-N.
Okay.
Henning, Henning. A member of the public and interested in observing our meeting and understanding if she might like to join the board. Would you like to say a few words about your interest in joining us, or?
I work as an educator in the natural sciences, and I work with adults and kids in issues of ecosystems and how systems work together. And when I saw that there was a vacant spot on the Conservation Commission, I figured this might be an opportunity for me to bring my skill sets to work for the community in which I now live.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's a cause I'm passionate about. So.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Are you a recent moving in?
Recent transplant, yeah. I've been a resident of Bristol since August, and getting moved into the new digs while renovation is being done. So we're in an Airbnb. Thank you. We're staying with Janet and Jerry in their beautiful home with their beautiful garden, and it's incredible. It's like my godparents' house, only Vermont style.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a nice stable place while the construction dust is still settling in our new spot.
Are you moving from close by or from a distance?
We're just behind Pine Street, and
I mean, from out of town.
I am. We're moving from Massachusetts, but for the past 15 years, my partner and I have been on the road full time in a restored vintage Airstream, and we've been across the country. And
Wow.
yeah, it's been pretty neat. We got the good years of it. It's not possible to do what we were doing just 4 to 5 years ago on the road.
The Airstream has gone downstream.
Well, the Airstream is actually going to be on the property, so if you want to come by and wave at it, you certainly can.
People Airbnb Airstreams.
That we're considering it.
Yeah.
We're considering it.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you're welcome.
yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we
I
can
love
do
it here.
a quick introduction so you know us. Maybe you've already met Nancy.
Which I've not met anyone else in person, so hello.
So,
Whoa, is that true? This is our first time
Yes.
Yeah.
in person with you.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. You look just
This
like
is
you
what
do
I
on
look
Zillow.
like.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So my name is John Chapin. I have a little bit of background with Middlebury Area Land Trust, having served 2 terms, extended terms on the board there, and then having a chance to re-up for a second term for the Conservation Commission.
And Kristen Underwood, I'm the vice chair. Lived in Bristol since about '93, and have been on the Conservation Commission since 2003, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, they had time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. That's when we started.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, it started. You're right. It started in 2003, but I didn't start until 2006 or 7. So.
My name is Dave Rosen, and I was here from the first meeting with the Conservation Commission. And Cal and I were just talking. I originally came to Bristol in 1969 as a Bristol volunteer. I was here for about 3 years, and then my wife Caroline left for 15 years, but held on to the land, the community of folks that I'll take a minute and go. I worked for a while at the high school, and one of the kids said to me, "Dave, were you a hippie?" And I said, "There's no were. You either are or you aren't." And our community, including he who represented us at the legislature for 16 years, Dave Sharp and his wife and another friend, Mike Fernandez, and Ed White, we all helped one another build our homes, and we're 52 years later and still you know, as a neighborhood.
Commune?
A community.
Well, we do. I mean, it only takes one pickup truck for 5 households. I mean, we still do. Everybody from the get-go, we tried to buy the land jointly, and the bank didn't know how to deal with it, so we made boundaries, and then we all, you know, helped one another build. But anyway, so I've been around here. I did leave for 15 years, but we held on to the land, and then always the first house, and then actually sold it to Pete Domenico. I didn't think we were moving back, and we did move back. So, and then Pete, who passed away Christmas 2 years ago, got the idea that there should be a conservation commission, and a couple of us chatted with the select board, and now you all are here. End of the story. Just keep doing what we're.
Just another chapter, Dave.
You're absolutely right. It's the end of the old one.
I'm Helen Young. I moved here in '98 and have been. This is my second year on the commission. So I think in terms of tenure, Nancy's the youngest, and then me, and then I guess you're the oldest. You're second oldest, and Jono just slides in there somewhere.
So we got a good age spread.
Yeah.
And longevity spread.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Cool. Okay. Well, welcome, and we'll go through our agenda, and you'll get a sense for what kinds of projects we're involved in. And if you decide after tonight's meeting that you do continue to want to be on our board, then the next step for you would be to go to the town offices and ask for an application to volunteer.
Okay.
That gets submitted to the select board, and then they usually just invite you in for a quick chat interview during a regular select board meeting. And then they make a determination of whether they will appoint you to the commission.
Wonderful.
I got
So-
really nervous about that meeting, and it was totally unnecessary.
Always
Yeah,
get
it's just-
nervous about
it's just a
meetings
chat,
like
right?
that. Part of
Yeah.
it goes
I was on
right up.
Zoom, and it was pretty casual.
Okay, so any additional items to the agenda that
I
folks have?
think so, unless it's gonna be under parks updates, pollinator garden maintenance.
We could do that under parks updates.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
Did you have something, Nancy?
No, there's that one thing Carolyn emailed about someone wanting something.
Oh, thank you.
A
Yes.
knotweed,
Yes.
the
The
knotweed
knotweeds.
project.
So that as well, I think we could do under the park
Parks.
updates
Okay.
for Sycamore.
Great.
Cool. Thanks for
Good job.
reminding us. Review and approval of minutes from May 12th. Do we have a quorum? We have a quorum. Are we prepared to review and approve those, or do we need to table those?
I don't remember.
Has everyone
I
had a
read
chance to
through
look at them?
and
I
Yeah,
usually
when they
look
read-
at them and see if there's.
Yeah, and when I looked through it at the time, it
Looks
all
good.
Yeah.
seemed to make sense.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from May 12th?
Sure.
Motion from Dave Rosen, second.
I'll second it.
Second from Nancy. All in favor of approving the minutes from May 12th?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carried. Correspondence. I think all the correspondence items as well could be handled under park updates, unless folks have other correspondence. One item might be, if I'm looking at my notes from Carolyn here, there was a recent email from Porter regarding how the Plank Road Trails spur was resolved, and just,
Or
I think
not.
everyone saw that they
Just put on hold,
determined
it sounds.
not to extend that Plank Road trail section out of respect for the landowners that are adjacent to it, and that really did not want that to happen.
Yeah, give it some time. Let it.
And focus energies in other trail segments, I think. Okay. Old business. Conservation Commission membership. Karen is here and maybe applying for our 9th and final open slot on the commission, so that's great.
Maybe the first time in my recollection of being at full capacity.
Having a full capacity building.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent. Okay. Any other items on Conservation Commission membership? Okay, we'll move on to park updates.
First, we have to sigh sadly.
Because Alex is gone.
is not here.
It's true. It's true. Alex really has done a tremendous amount of work to keep our parks updated and keep us updated about our parks. I think it would not be inappropriate for us to just add an item to the minutes of our appreciation for Alex. And and I don't know if there will be plans to celebrate his.
I think he's.
Him. I think he's already moved
Oh yeah.
to the new position.
Yeah. So the rec department can probably get us an address if someone just wanted to send him a thank you note.
That's a great idea. Yeah, for next meeting, if we, I can make a note to bring a card.
I think he is being like the rec director in Williston.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that, plus he was the half-time person working with the, I'm pointing to the teen center, to the hub.
Yeah.
You know, pretty wide range of things that he was involved with.
Definitely.
He did a great job with it all.
Definitely. I'll bring a card for our next meeting that we could all sign.
That'd be great.
Carolyn notes here that we should also contact Meredith to see what the plans are for Alex's role going forward and who that point person might be, or if they're advertising for that.
They are. Front Porch Forum. There
You
was
saw
an
it there?
ad for a new.
Okay. So I will follow up with that as well.
I think Dave's maybe right that they probably already had a going away party for Alex. However, if by chance they haven't, it might be an interesting note for us to have some representation at that party if it hasn't taken place yet already.
Yeah, good point. Sure.
Whoever is
I can
looking
ask
out to
Meredith.
So
check.
when you have contact with Meredith,
Yeah.
she'll be the person to know.
Sounds good. Sycamore Park, debrief on the workday. Anyone want to debrief us? We were all there, I think. No? We can debrief Nancy and Karen. Let's see, what did we do? We weeded the perennial garden, remulched it,
Refenced it. Yeah.
with some donated fencing from Helen.
Temporarily donated.
Yeah. The bluebird boxes, Jono and Alex worked hard on those.
Put up a number of cedar posts with the new bluebird boxes from the trust. The name of the trust?
The Edith Stuck Trust.
Trust.
Yeah.
We also ended up chainsawing, bucking up some.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Trees were down over the trails.
A few, yeah. 2. Alex did one, I did one. One was an emerald ash.
Yeah.
Or an ash.
An ash.
That had succumbed to an emerald ash borer population. That's the summation of what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did a lot in
Was there
3 hours.
Was there any pruning done on some of those other trees?
The apple trees were pruned, but
That was-
before
We did that
you.
before.
did
John
that.
and I
Yeah.
did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a month before.
It's going to be sometime in April, I think it was.
We checked on them. They looked great.
They did?
look
They
pretty
were
good, yeah.
flowering
They were in
despite
full
their
bloom?
yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. And do you have an update on the pollinator garden as well?
Yes, I do. I contacted a friend of mine, Mike Kiernan, who founded and runs an organization called Be the Change that started as an organization that plants pollinator gardens in solar fields, which I thought was just a brilliant idea. He's an emergency room doctor, and this is his hobby. But he spends a huge amount of time figuring out seed sources and perennial plant sources and getting volunteers to help plant all of this stuff at solar farms.
Cool.
And so I went to his website, and he said, I wish I could remember the name of the plan. It's kind of like the pollinator pathway, but it's bigger. He just wants pollinator gardens everywhere.
Yeah.
And he said they donate supplies for people planting, communities
Yeah.
planting pollinator gardens. So I wrote him and said, well, we have a pollinator garden that doesn't have much living in it. And so he came personally and spread seed of annuals and perennials,
Cool.
and then planted over 20, maybe 25 good-sized perennials, this big.
In the garden that we just made.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And today I went out, and they're
taking
this
right
big.
on.
Wow.
Yeah,
No kidding.
Cool.
one of them is flowering.
I will say that this time of year was a way better time than
Yeah.
late July,
Yeah.
August.
When they planted before.
Yeah, that was
Exactly.
probably about the worst time, and really heavy
Get them to
requirements
take root and
for watering
hot.
unless it's an unusual time.
right. So watering is the next item.
Okay.
So one, I need to
We took care of that
maybe
today.
send him a
Yeah.
formal
John
thank
will
you
take it.
from
Yeah.
the committee, because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
Oh yeah.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So after he spread the seed, I said, so what should we do? And he said, well, keep it wet. He said, I'm a botanist. He said to the botanist, and I said, yeah. But I realized, there's no water source out there.
Just the river.
So I've watered them once. I just took big things of water and a watering can and moved back and forth and back and
From the
forth.
river. Yeah.
No, I got it from the buckets in the back of my car.
Oh, got
Which
it.
is closer,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
can pull that up pretty close.
Got it.
Um,
So my big question would be, you have the wood chips there, unless he's raking back wood chips to get to the soil and
Yeah.
planting or spreading the seed and then covering
he
back.
did not move any.
So they just went right over the top of wood chips.
Yes, and there are things germinating.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
probably a lower percentage than it would be if it had been on soil.
And some of those
but
seeds
there's
are probably
stuff-
hardy. They might stick around for a year or two,
Right.
and then in the
Right.
right conditions. Okay.
So then I was thinking, well, it's funny because this pollinator garden was Porter Knight's idea, and she got a volunteer to plant it and fence it last year. And then I don't know what the agreement was, but we inherited it, and I
Yeah.
assume that we inherited maintenance and care. So I feel like we should maintain it and try to keep the plants alive. So I was thinking, anytime it doesn't water for 5 days,
Yeah.
maybe go out, do my repeat thing. Getting a fire brigade of people getting
With buckets.
would be great. But then there's pollinator pathways in Bristol. There's pollinator pathways of Addison County. There's a group of
Oh, a
people
group.
who want to develop their own pollinator gardens in their home, get them on the map, just do things to try to promote.
For connectivity.
Yes. So they might be interested in helping us water
To
it
water.
and maintain it.
Okay.
So the leader of that, Gail Klein, emailed me and said, Porter suggested that we take a tour of the garden. So I went out today and said, well, there's not a lot to see. I mean, it doesn't look like a pollinator garden. It might in August.
Right.
But I think at some point, if we decide to ask for their assistance or accept their help, we can set up a meeting and show people around, show people how we can go in the back that doesn't have any fencing and our water, and then maybe leave it to them to take over watering. I don't know how that will work,
Okay. Yeah.
but that's where
But at
we
least it
are.
broadens the pool of people available to be watering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It also creates a nice model for some of those that are very new to the concept that might like to see something.
How you get
And-
started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that gives them a pathway. Pathway.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's my update on the pollinator.
And do you want to be the one to continue to converse with Gail? And
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
And just to jump in, it sounds like that was really wonderful, all those contacts that you made. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think the challenge is to communicate even something as simple as that back and forth with emails because of the open,
Right?
the meeting.
Open meeting law, but that's more of a logistical, and we can
Yeah.
have those kinds of
But to do it here
coordinating
is-
emails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And I don't know that we need to keep Porter in the loop, but I guess we might as well, since she started this and she actually at one point when I did send out a query, after I watered it the first time saying, we need to water these plants.
Yeah.
She said she might be able to line up some volunteers through her.
Through the trail network,
Yes. So I will keep her informed.
maybe. Okay.
We're going to overwater these plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see if that can happen.
Wound up being what?
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Another item on Sycamore is regarding the knotweed, and we did get a communication, Carolyn did, an email from an individual in Bristol. Well, actually, this individual
Weybridge.
lives in Weybridge.
Yeah.
James, yep.
And they're hoping to do some experiments using Japanese knotweed for fiber and for growing mushrooms, with the eventual hope that they could make some good out of this invasive plant and find uses for it. They noticed there's a lot of knotweed in Sycamore Park. Yes, there's definitely a lot. And they were wondering if they could get permission to cut some and take it away.
We should set a minimum
Yeah.
amount.
It was kind of a two-part process, if I
Take all
recall.
of
It
it.
was cut it down, let it sit, dry out, and then take it away.
Yeah.
Lay it on the ground to ret,
Yeah, I wasn't
And
sure what
then-
that meant.
I wondered if
start
it
to
was a
break down,
typo.
and then it's in quotes. So
Uh-huh.
I have his email, and
Yeah.
then he would transport the stems after the stems have broken down and are no longer viable for accidental propagation.
Assuming we have the purview to vote on that, I think it could be an action tonight. And then furthermore, I happened to bump into this individual at the co-op Member Appreciation Day, and I told him there's plenty of knotweed down there at Sycamore, and I happen to have a lot too. So if you want to get started before our meeting, which I think will go very favorably,
Yeah.
you're welcome to visit on Hewitt Road. So
Yeah.
there's no shortage of knotweed out there.
Well, just South Street, all the way down toward the New Haven.
Yeah.
Right side is covered with knotweed. It's funny that although if he does it at this park,
He's doing the right
it's
thing.
protected,
just 'cause
he
it's
can
public.
lay stuff out,
yeah.
it'll probably be molested.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and I was thinking I could make mention of this in the Sycamore Park management plan that I'm revising, just to call out that we could allow for research or experimental uses of Japanese knotweed as part of the invasives management plan at the park. So
Yeah, that's great.
if we all are in agreement about
Sure.
that, then we could.
Yeah.
Yes, unanimous.
I don't know if do we need a formal vote or.
I just wrote down unanimous.
Okay, we had consensus. We had
Okay.
consensus,
Yeah.
Writing
and
down the name of the weed. I'm gonna look
since
into it.
Japanese knotweed. Yeah.
Like it sounds.
KNOT, yep. So since Carolyn's out of town, I will reply to James and just let him know that we discussed it and that he would be welcome to do that.
And I just wrote in here a Weybridge resident. I didn't
Yes.
write his name. Okay. Is that?
Do you
does that
need it?
matter?
I
Well,
just-
I can find the email, but you probably. Yeah, I can do that. Okay, got it.
Feel free to reiterate my offer if you'd like.
Okay.
Again, he has no shortage of knotweed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Finding is
Great, thank you.
Okay, so other parks. Eagle Park. Nancy and I did some weeding.
Was there a lot of weeding
There
to
was
do?
a lot of the old horsetail to pull.
Oh, yeah.
There were a little bit of Japanese knotweed young plants to pull and some more sumac. Ken Johnson delivered 3 or 4 yards of mulch that's up there now. So we might need a little more weeding, but it's in pretty good shape, and then we could spread mulch. More importantly, we could move the pile of gravel and fill the hole on the access ramp to the concrete, just to make that area serviceable for the short term before the fishing platform gets finally repaired. I did attend a FEMA meeting this week, Actually, it might have been Friday. And it's looking promising that FEMA will pay for the repairs that are needed, that are being designed there.
That'd be great.
But there's no formal word yet. So,
How about
and that timeline will be possibly into next year at this point, depending upon availability of supplies and contractors.
And is this a matching thing, or will they pay the full price?
It's a matching thing. So there's, I believe, 75% from FEMA, and the remaining 25% comes from the state and the town share. 12.5%.
So in regards to the proposed workday today, and some emails back and forth, it seems as though someone somehow was going to make a call about whether to go or not, and I was sort of assuming, based on the earlier rain, that the rain was likely to continue. So we're looking at a rescheduling.
Yeah.
And then I imagine it's wheelbarrow, shovels, and anything else that.
Wheelbarrow, shovels. If anyone has a hand tamper, we do them. Okay.
You're in.
Well, yeah.
That
Oh,
just
for the
compresses the gravel a little
Yeah.
bit. We've done it before with an actual gas-powered vibrator, but
really?
Ken had one, or it was either Ken or Pete.
Yeah.
But I think a hand tamper would be fine. Rakes for the mulch, buckets for mulch,
Yeah.
shovels is what we'll need. And we could schedule that now, or I could send a poll around so that folks had access to their calendars.
When are you thinking?
Probably some Saturday
Okay.
coming up. So maybe either this Saturday or next Saturday, or the 25th, 11th, 18th, or 25th.
Maybe.
I might be gone both of those Saturdays.
Okay. And we could also talk about a weekday evening, if that's any easier.
I really thought the idea of having it before the meeting, as it was planned for today, was
Right.
great.
If the weather had held.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it can push off for another month, but that's really,
Oh.
you were there. And
I was thinking, ideally, if we could fill that hole before the 4th of
do
July
that.
weekend,
yeah,
when that park gets a lot of traffic.
activity.
I mean,
Not
so
mulch,
maybe
just sitting there.
So that's a shovel, a wheelbarrow, and a
shovel
tamper.
and wheelbarrow and tamper. And then we could do that in a couple of hours in an evening, like 4 to 6 on some Thursday evening, or
Yeah, during the week is more likely for me.
Me too.
Yep. I think for everybody for summer.
That's good. I
Yeah,
mean, like 4:30,
yeah, like 4:30, 4:30 to 6:30
unless they bring my little
Do
helper
you want
for a
to
little
pick a
bit.
time and do
with a
it?
little shovel.
Just
He does have a little shovel and a little rake,
come around for
so
the week, and then I'm gone for a little bit. But
Yeah, me
is
too.
it something we just want to do the first of the week and be done with it?
First of this
like the
coming week.
13th or 14th.
I do have a conference early in the week, but I could do this Thursday the 16th.
Thursday. I'm loving Thursday.
Thursday?
That works.
Thursday the 16th.
Thursday the 16th for everybody?
At the moment, should
Okay.
be all right.
Thursday.
I'll send a reminder
June
around.
16th at what time?
Like 4:30 to 6:30.
Great.
Okay.
And that's
And we'll-
at Eagle.
At
Do you know
Eagle
where
Park.
Eagle Park is?
I do.
Who's going to catch the trout that we're going to put on the grill?
Alex. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so I'll send a reminder out as well. Other park updates. We don't have Alex here to give us some updates. Anything for Saunders, Memorial Park, other parks?
I still have
Where is-
never been to Saunders.
I was gonna just ask, where is Saunders?
It's
It's on the river.
it's not very visible.
It's not very public.
We should think about it,
Hard to
maybe a little
find.
tour there, right?
Uh-huh.
If you were to
That's
go, and maybe it's really Kristen's the better person, but it's as you come onto 116, either from the light or Hewitt Road, which I'm on, and you head south, it's probably a quarter mile from A. Johnson's driveway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the left, that's the riverside, the
Yeah.
west side, and is a particular driveway which doesn't look like it.
It's a grass path through a hayfield, basically,
Oh, okay.
to get there.
Huh.
We
What's there once you get through the
It's-
grass?
well,
It's a
That's the thing,
conserved property
it's a
versus a
conserve.
park.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
really
okay.
a park for
So it's-
use.
Okay.
It's a river access point, and it's the main purpose really is to allow the river to spill over its banks and flood that area so that it relieves flood
Okay.
pressure on downstream properties.
Oh, okay.
So it's a conserved parcel in that sense,
Okay.
but it is also a river access for anglers, and you can walk through there and
You know, I wonder,
ride horseback.
would it be appropriate for us to do some sort of signage? I mean, to, you know, what it is and explain exactly that you did, that this, you know, this X number of acres that goes with that off of the river, you
Yeah.
know, is for that
Purpose.
purpose. So then when you say that, you know, the Saunders, whatever,
Yeah.
there's some sort of sign
Yeah.
there.
We do have a kiosk, but of course the kiosk is down by the river. You have to
Yeah.
get there
You have
to read
get,
it.
You have to get there to read it.
And we did at one point talk about signage off of 116, but it's quite involved to get signage off of 116, permits, costs, and so forth. So we decided at that time not to pursue signage.
Is
But
the-
there is on the website a very clear description of what this parcel is and its
So we just
purpose.
put a
And,
pole and just said Saunders access.
well, even that has
Oh.
requirements because it's a state route. There's a higher bar for permits and specifications for the sign.
Is the path in on private property? Or
Town-owned property, the path in. Yeah.
so there would be no, I was thinking you might not want to sign it if you don't know
Yeah.
what will be going through, but
I think this
Yeah,
discussion
look for it.
also happened a year or so back somewhat, but because there was some challenges with some groups at the park that didn't seem to be very mindful of a neighbor's concerns about noise and appropriate behavior and such. This is very vague in general, but we were trying to figure out, well, how public do we make it? How, you know, so we didn't really figure all of that out. But I think Dave's on the right track. It's just it's an.
I just put a big white rock, and if somebody says, "Where is it?" you just do
That-
that.
Turn it the way
Where
around.
is it?
There you go.
Yeah.
So I would,
Okay.
you know, not speaking for the whole commission by any stretch, but I think it's something that over time we would want to figure that out. I just don't know if that's germane to the full conversation for this meeting to go into explore that.
But I'd certainly be willing to host a walk out there just so that newer members can know
Yeah.
what the park is and what it's all about, and we could advertise that on Front Porch Forum even if folks wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be
come and learn
fabulous.
more.
I'd like to join you.
and are the boundaries clear at all
The boundaries are surveyed and clear.
Okay.
Yep.
to a visitor? It's obvious when you're now trespassing.
Not necessarily to a visitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There are maps that define where the boundaries are
At the kiosk or online?
on the kiosk and online.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay. That's all. I just want to know where it was.
yeah.
So thank you for all that.
Sure.
Memorial Park?
Yeah, I have no updates for Memorial. Anyone?
It looks, I parked in there briefly to look at my phone. It looks the same.
It's the same? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, parks update. Operating budget is the next item. From Carolyn's notes, there's no official information on the budget, but we spent about $100 on the polls for Sycamore Park, $50 for our membership to the Vermont Association of Conservation Commissions, $40 for Sycamore Park snacks during our work day. There was to be $50 in Eagle Park snacks, but we didn't spend those. $50 litter cleanup award, the Bristol Bucks that
Oh, yeah.
Zaley's working on.
Zaley's working on. So we're about at $300, which really we're at $250 because we didn't buy Eagle Park snacks.
Okay.
So it's close to the limits of our annual operating budget.
I wonder if
Successfully spent our budget.
Zaley, as she's to add another part of her submission to the town, but if she's going to get the $50
Bristol
Bristol
Bucks.
Bucks, maybe we might in advance have some snacks, because if this is going to be planned for Thursday to get up there.
Oh, for Eagle Park, you mean?
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
then we can just have that done before the end of the
Before
month.
the end of the fiscal year.
Because that's
'cause
it
we
has
have
to
to
be
spend
expended
this.
by
Before the end of June.
just
Yeah.
before. Sometimes it's every fiscal year can be a little different, but it's generally June or July, somewhere in there. Yeah, June 30th maybe.
Who was going to be getting Eagle Park snacks?
Do you want to just double check those numbers and make sure? I thought that with Zaley's $50 reward, I thought that was going to take us to the,
Okay.
but
So we're talking about 240
yeah, okay.
without Eagle Park snacks. If I did I do that right?
This is a very important committee.
Big
We have a
budgetary-
vast operating budget of $250.
I'm a big fan of snacks, so I'm right there with you.
Okay. Do we have a volunteer to get snacks for June 16th at Eagle Park? From wherever.
I can get snacks. What kind of snacks are we thinking?
Oh, you missed the Sycamore Park
Yeah.
snacks,
Helen-
which I bought,
Helen
and
will
they
give you the rundown.
disappeared.
Oh,
There was
okay.
nothing
Good.
left.
Good.
Chips.
Just different chips.
Some
Cookies,
fruit.
fruit,
Okay.
water,
Don't
Grapes
want to
are on
spoil
sale.
our appetite.
Grapes are on sale at Shaw's.
grapes, water, seltzer water. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess maximum of $50, but that would
Maximum
be a
of
lot.
50.
That would be a lot, because
Yeah.
only going to be a half a dozen people there.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring your appetite. Okay.
Does that mean you're volunteering?
Yes, I
Okay.
can. That's
Thank
something
you.
I can do.
Okay. And just keep your receipt, and then you bring it to the town office for reimbursement.
Okay.
And tell them it's for the operating budget.
Did you see Kristen's email from earlier? Or did you
Oh,
send it
explaining to
everybody?
Zaley
Yeah.
about how to get the reimbursement.
Probably.
Yeah, so you have some information to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item is updated wildlife survey. And I volunteered to gather more information about consultants that could carry out a scope of work to update the maps for the town of Bristol, to include things like wildlife corridors and wildlife tracking or crossing locations. And I made a few email contacts, but I don't really have anything substantive to share this evening, and I'll make sure to bring more information next meeting.
I got as far as finding a YouTube by that UVM graduate
Yes,
student.
Caitlin Drasher.
And it's an hour long, it's a PowerPoint presentation, and I watched the first minute and thought, I'm not mentally ready.
Right?
And I completely forgot about
Oh,
it. So
right,
it's
right.
probably open here somewhere.
Somewhere on there.
So hers is a presentation on how to do the mapping.
Yes.
What data is needed.
Okay.
Actually, you don't know about what she does.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
I wonder
I
if
will
that's
watch
the
it.
same person. I just watched last night a Zoom presentation on connectivity, and it was by, I believe, the new the new chair of the Middlebury Land Trust, a woman who is a recent graduate, and it was, God, I'm trying to remember her name. Her last name started with a P. It doesn't really do much, but anyway, they had basically a big tutorial on how to use this
Biofinder?
mapping. Yeah,
Yeah.
Biofinder and stuff. So
Monica
so-
Prisbahart?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so essentially that could be valuable for us. They will have that. It was recorded, so once I get that link, I can send it on. And,
Excellent. That'd be
and,
great.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And it's probably not that sophisticated, but it was pretty involved from my vantage point. And I
Yeah.
couldn't stay for the whole meeting, but
Great.
it's, as I said, it's recorded, so that would be helpful to have.
Definitely.
Excellent. That'd be
Yeah, if we
great.
circulate that around, then we
Yeah.
can take a look and
I will.
I'll promise to have more information to you next month.
And that's searchable through Front Porch Forum, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yep. As of yesterday's.
The Zoom talk? What?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It was advertised at Front Porch Forum. Probably on the maybe more on the Middlebury because I'm on Middlebury and Bristol. That's why it might not.
I
have
didn't
been.
see
No.
it.
Yeah.
But if you
If you
I'll
forward it,
I'll
then-
forward
that'd be
it
great.
for sure.
We don't
Yeah.
have to keep it in.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, Edith Stock Trust is the next item. I did not, okay, if you remember from last meeting, there was going to be the Otter Creek tournament, fly fishing tournament,
Yes.
and a
At
fundraising
Sycamore
event
Park.
at Sycamore Park. And I did drive by there on the Sunday, and it was packed. The whole park was full.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, they were parked all the way up to 116.
Wow.
So that was great. I'm sure
you
it
have
was.
the whole video of that.
Yeah. So I'm sure they'll be in touch about. They were going to share some of the proceeds with the Bristol Conservation Commission. They haven't been, so I don't know that information at this point. The question on the table though is Meredith asked if we could kick in $50 to the rec department to help support the portalet that's been placed at Sycamore Park and was placed there early this year in order to cover that particular event. So there's a cost involved monthly and so forth. So she wondered if we could kick in $50 to help that, and we possibly from the Edith Stock Trust funds,
How about from the Anglers Funds?
or
What the
from the
Anglers
English
pay us.
funds.
Well, the Anglers Fund's going into the stuff trust.
Right.
The same
So,
pool.
so in anticipation of that, we could do a swap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't want to see those snacks go by the wayside. We'd have to cut into next year's budget. But yeah, I mean, if that's a motion that's being started, then
Yeah.
should I start it? Or?
Sure.
Okay. I put forth the motion to honor the request from the Bristol Rec Park in their
Rec department.
yeah, asking for $50 towards their portalet
Expense. Yeah.
expense.
John
Okay. There's the motion.
proposed.
I'll second.
Dave seconds. Any discussion?
Sounds good.
How long will the porta potties remain there?
Through the summer, but because they customarily, the rec department does pay for it to be there when the camps are being held there and so forth. But this was an early deployment of the portalet to cover that specific tournament.
Yeah.
So an unanticipated expense for them.
I also really like the idea that, they've done, however it was decided with Alex,
Yeah.
giving, checking on the parks, and that's coming out of their budget, because at this time I have to presume. And it's been really informative for us, and so
Yeah.
I assume that is going to continue,
Yep.
and with a new person, and so it's nice to be able to have a sharing.
To
of-
contribute back
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
department.
That relationship with that department.
Yep, that's
agree.
right.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion carries unanimously.
Nobody asks for abstentions anymore. It's just presumed that.
Or amendments?
Yeah.
Are we voting on the proposal or the amendment? And it gets very confusing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't spell unanimous anymore. Got it.
Illegal dumping sites is the next item on the agenda. So for Karen's benefit, we have had a couple of illegal dumping sites in the town that we have eyes on. One of them is on the little Lower Notch Road. It's a fairly egregious site and a long history of folks just dumping over the bank. And that's a challenging situation because it's a safety hazard to clean up, because you'd almost have to connect to ropes and go over the bank, and there's large items down there. So we're continuing to brainstorm about that. But there's another site that Alex Smith was aware of, and then an individual took it upon themselves to clean that up as a daily exercise, and has really transformed the site from an illegal dumping site to back to its natural state.
Wow.
And so this commission has decided to honor that person.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to her.
Unbeknownst
I
to
don't know
her.
if there's going to be a check for $50 attached to some
Bristol
trash.
Bristol Bucks.
At this,
You know, some trash, just leave it there for her to pick.
exactly.
So
With her
Alex,
name on it.
Alex has taken the lead
Nice.
to follow through with that. So Alex and Zaley are working on that.
Yeah, that person's a hero.
So that's in progress, and I'm sure they'll report back to us next time.
The Lower Notch spot, is that the one with all the cars?
Yes. The trail,
Yeah.
Yes.
Along the trail? Okay.
right?
Wait, lower
It's
Notch?
like if you go up Lower Notch
going.
Trail from 116, you hit a T, take a right, it's up there a ways. There's a
It's been
couple of
going on
pull-offs.
for a while.
Many years.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
okay.
the same spot.
And that's
but
upper
there is
Notch.
a spot with
Sorry, it is
cars.
Upper Notch.
It's Upper Notch.
Gotcha.
Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Green Up Day was May 7th. And here are some notes from Carolyn. And she posted this on Front Porch Forum as well recently.
Didn't see it.
Bristol's numbers are in, and we did a great job this year. 418 green bags
Wow.
were distributed.
Oh, distributed.
0.58 tons, or 1,278 pounds of litter, and 14 tires were picked up just in Bristol alone.
Wow.
Too bad we know how many bags were distributed, but we don't know how many were picked up.
Yeah, that's always a tricky
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Addison County overall greened up 10.94 tons, or 24,000 pounds of roadside litter.
How many tons?
10.94 tons in Addison County.
Yeah.
And so that was the end of her post.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, for sure. And we'll do it again next year. Unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Events.
Eagle Park Work Party. How did that end up there? I guess fascinating.
Okay. Well, now we can put Eagle Park Work Party
Yeah, just change
Thursday,
the
Oh, yes.
June
change the
16th.
date.
Part two.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Work party the
Unless
second.
storming, it says. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
unless
see.
it's a miserable pouring rain, lightning,
Next
we'll work.
Thursday
What do we see for weather there?
says it's clear.
Good.
Partly cloudy.
Awesome.
80
Excellent.
degrees
Okay.
is the high.
Bring your babies.
Good news. Good news.
But yeah, I mean, Monday we have rain, and then the next it says Friday at 40%.
So we're in pretty good shape,
hopefully,
I think.
yeah, we should be.
Great.
Excellent.
Cool. I'll get a second chance.
Let's see.
Okay.
We need to decide on a place for our next meeting, July 14th. Is this Bristol Rec
I like
spot fine?
this works
It's
for
nice
people.
we get to see Dave.
And let's do it.
Yeah,
think
I
it
like
works.
it.
Do it here,
Works well.
July 14th,
Yep.
6 p.m.
Oh, that's a Thursday.
It is a Thursday.
Okay. I have to be down in Long Island for Friday, so I don't know when I'm going to need to leave.
You might miss
Thursday
that one.
night. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Festival on the Green.
Oh.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Festival on the Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's so good.
That is a conflict.
It is a conflict.
Well, that's okay.
Well, we could change
It could be the
date.
next week.
Well, or we have in past years we have
We've
taken a
skipped.
hiatus. We've skipped a summer meeting just because people's schedules get
Yeah.
very busy.
That might be the
July's
one.
pretty major in Bristol.
Yeah.
July is very busy. Yeah, in Bristol
I mean, when I've been on other boards, August
is typically the
is
one.
more often, yeah. But
Yeah.
but I don't know if August is more of a
Seems like the first year
busier.
back person for July.
I think we should go with July as holding off on that one and then see how we look for August.
For August.
And then we'll work around the date somehow.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
think
Carolyn
I'll
will
be here
be
for
back.
August. I think that's when we're going to Idaho. So
Okay. Yeah, we're just
anything that we can have.
we're just gonna have slim numbers in the
Yes.
summer months, and that's expected. So
So-
it's not
Okay,
a
so
problem.
I'll just say next meeting is August
Or no.
TBD. Because
Or-
we're not gonna meet in July?
No, we are gonna meet in
Oh,
July.
okay.
Is what we're saying,
Okay.
and we'll just take
I won't be
whoever
there.
we
It
can.
depends. Maybe it's a bad.
So are we sticking with the 14th?
So you want to do them on the 14th, or do you?
I think we need to keep it on the 14th just because that's how it's
Okay, so we'll
announced in all the
okay,
websites
So
and
we'll
so
be
forth.
using-
Here
Okay.
on July 14th, the regular time of 6 p.m. and we might only have 3 or 4 members, but
Do
We'll deal with
that.
that.
We,
Yeah.
you know,
Let's see.
do what we're
Carolyn.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Carolyn will be
History of the
back.
world
I
is-
think maybe the Smiths will be back, so we'll be in good shape. And you can go to the green if you need to.
Thank you. I'll see what's playing.
Okay. All right, well, unless there's any new business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
At 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Look at that.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Nancy?
Before we do, I just want to
Never-
say you do a wonderful job.
You do.
Oh, well, thank you.
It is.
I have to say, Carolyn gave me all the cheat sheet notes here, so
Yeah.
that made it
That's-
easy.
Well, thank you for stepping
Smooth.
in.
Cooperation.
I just seconded it because I had to
Seconded?
write it down. Seconded
Okay,
it.
all in favor?
Seconded.
Aye.
Good seeing everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
you as well.
It was nice to meet
And thank
everyone.
you